At RSM, our government contract consulting professionals help our clients solve their most challenging cost accounting, pricing, and regulatory compliance-related issues by understanding their business and aligning compliance to their strategic objectives. First, we understand that not all government contracts are equal, meaning each contract type incorporates an array of reporting and compliance requirements with varying degrees of materiality to the client's business. By developing a deep understanding of the client's business, their compliance posture, the federal agencies they sell to, whether they have both federal and commercial work, and whether their growth plans emphasize more federal contracts, we can begin to align compliance requirements to their strategic objectives. A client's strategic objectives related to their compliance infrastructure can range from minimal compliance to gold standard compliance. And there are strategic advantages to either, depending on your overarching business strategy and objectives. At RSM, we believe the right advice requires experts who are willing to dig into the details and really understand both the business and compliance strategy, and that advice may be very different depending on the chosen strategy. So let's look at this in the context of two different examples. In our first example, a product manufacturer is looking to establish themselves as a new entrant in the federal contracting space, either as a prime or a subcontractor to the U.S. Department of Defense. They'll need to align their current IT and cyber architecture and operating structure, things like processes and data flow, to the Department of Defense's cybersecurity regulations known as CMMC. Their compliance structure will also need to contemplate procurement and federal acquisition regulations, such as supporting detailed cost and pricing strategies. By helping our client understand the myriad of reporting, execution, and compliance requirements that will be new to how they conduct business, we can help them estimate the additional costs that working with the U.S. government will impose on them. And we can help them to strategize on how to maximize profitability while remaining compliant. So in our second example, let's look at how an existing government contractor would add a new capability to its existing business through the acquisition of another government contractor. In this case, the contractor would need to consider the impact of integration on their cost and pricing strategies, business process alignment, and the target company's compliance posture, both historical and ongoing. These are strategic elements that would need to be considered at both the diligence phase as well as a part of the value creation post-acquisition. By helping our client contemplate post-acquisition integration of operations and cost structures while remaining compliant with U.S. government regulations, we can help them to optimize their investment. In both of these examples, RSM advisors help our government contractor clients to incorporate regulatory and contractual compliance into their strategy to ensure margin protection and maximize cost recovery while ultimately achieving their strategic objectives.